at that sky this morning, guys. Let's get it.
Got in here before the sun came up, before the day started, before everyone else's day started. Look at this. Man, empty parking lot. That's not the key, y'all. If you're sleeping right now, you're wrong. If you're not getting after it first thing in the morning, you're wrong. Like, that's the only way you're gonna win in this game, guys. So go ahead and do yourself a favor. Wake up early, get your workout in early, get back to the house, take a shower, eat your breakfast, and guess what? You're primed for the rest of the day. While everyone's wiping the crust out of their eyes, getting ready to fight morning traffic here in Tampa, we're already done. We're going to head back to the house, get some breakfast in the shower. Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? So here we are, Fitness for 10 Brandon. Good times, guys. Let's get after it.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I just finished the workout, man. Like, I gotta tell you, there's not much better in the world than freaking starting your day up bright and early and getting your workout in, like, while everyone's still wiping the crust out of their eyes. So what I did today, man, was I went ahead and hit up some back. I warmed up on the rower, then followed by going over to the T-bar row, the little hammer strength machine. I did like 4 sets of 10. Then I did 2 sets also, some heavy work, you know what I mean? Got a few in there, try to get some content, show you guys, you know, proper form and whatnot. Guys, I'm not going to be here for all that workout videos and stuff like that. I'm gonna throw down what I do here and there, but as far as like the workout videos, like there's tons of information on YouTube, guys. Check out like Ryan Humiston, Jeff Nippard. I think I'm saying you guys' name right, but like those are a couple of guys that I follow. Chris Cavallini, he's an excellent resource. Definitely use that. He's got a cool podcast too called Start Today. I'll put the link in the description below. But yeah, like to both his channel, like his YouTube channel and his podcast, I'll put the link down below. If you're looking to get after it and start today, like that's a good way to go about that. But anyways, like that's not a paid endorsement for him or anything like that. It's just what I go to, what works for me. Like he has a lot of really good advice. So I kind of, you know, I got to recommend that, you know, because what works for me may not work for you, and that's okay. But if I can lead you in a direction that will help, then by all means. If one thing that any of those guys say sticks and it works for you, then that's a win, right? And that's what we're all about. So yeah, I just got back from the gym. So here's a funny thing. So yesterday I tried to make some content, right? And I'm you know what I mean? Like I'm still working on this type of thing. Still working on the content game. You know, I'm new at that, but whatever. It's like, so these videos are gonna be raw as hell. Raw, but that's all right, man. The ultimate goal, see, there I go dropping my towel and stuff. Ha. Like, don't judge the house or whatever. The ultimate goal, guys, is to make sure you're getting a good workout in. You know what I mean? So yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, I made some content yesterday, but come to find out, my phone stopped working, or it didn't stop working, it stopped recording my voice. Like, not that my voice is all that to listen to, but I was trying to give y'all a little bit of information on what I do for like post-workout or breakfast in the morning with the quick oats. I have them made. I went the whole process of making it and everything else and found out my phone crashed on audio, so, and the voiceover wasn't going to look any better. Like, I probably would have sounded like a bad movie, like, you know what I mean, like one of those old samurai movies or something where like you see me talking on the screen and the video. Like, look, I may suck at this content game, but I don't suck that bad, okay? I know, like, if it's gonna look like that, nah, we don't need it. But anyways, so like I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna show you guys what's up with the quick overnight oats. I'll make a recipe video on that later on. What I did is I ended up using the rest of my protein powder to make the video. So what that did was kind of, you know, I kind of shot myself in the butt a little bit on that. So by making that video, I kind of used up all my protein powder, which is fine. That's what I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, knock that out, so to speak. And yeah, so here's the house. This is not no MTV Cribs type thing. So I'm going to get back in here and I'll show you what's up with that later. What's up, guys? So I have the rice, the white and brown both, over here cooking on the stove that you just saw right there. Another part of my meal prep is these sweet potato cubes that we picked up the other day, right? So if you look, there's 6 servings per container is 1 cup. So 6 cups in here, 90. It's 22 grams of carbs and another 2 grams of protein per. And what I'm going to do, yeah, I know it says 6 servings for 1 cup. I'm going to go ahead and split that up, 45 calories each. So that'll only give me 11 grams of carbs. I'm watching them, you know what I mean, because I'm also going to be mixing it up throughout the week with the brown rice and the white rice, you know, just trying to change things up. But anyway, really simple recipe. I'm going to roast these. The oven's at 425 degrees. I'm going to use sea salt, black pepper, a little bit of granulated garlic, right? And toss in some avocado oil first and some so this is my method. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to roast it at 425 degrees until they're nice and golden brown, and then these will be prepped up, and they should be done right around the same time as the white and brown rice. I'm boiling those both together because I'm going to mix them up together at the same time anyways. So yeah, like I was saying, I added adobo for some extra flavor. The sodium content of the adobo is pretty high, 520 milligrams per, I'm looking right now, 1/4 teaspoon. So that's a lot of sodium right there. However, keep in mind, a lot of that's going to drain off, right? I'm just after flavoring the water a little bit. So, you know, we'll worry about more flavor later, but just keep in mind, all this rice is going to soak all that flavor up and hopefully leave a little bit of that sodium behind. But either way, you know, between 2 boxes of this, boil in the bag rice, honestly, that sodium is just going to kind of disperse out a little bit, so we're not really too worried about that anyway. Here we go. Like I said, real simple process. Just going to take all these cubed sweet potatoes right in here. Make this super fast. You don't need to see my face today. What you need to see is how we do this. And we're only going to add just a little bit of salt to coat it up. Not a lot. Remember the adobo's in there. Salt. Got to add the dill. Got to switch it up a little bit. Right? Nice little bit of flavor. Here we are, some granulated garlic, just a little bit. A little goes a long way. I'm going to add some cracked black pepper real quick. Actually, it's the peppercorn medley. I'm going to cut screen for a second. I'm going to just crack this in here just a little bit. And then, yeah. Here we go, guys. I'm just cracking some black pepper in here real quick. The peppercorn medley, rather. Here we go. The avocado oil. Just a little bit. Right? And now we're going to come through, stir this all together, mix it up, make sure they're nice and coated. And that's all there is to it. See a nice color on there. Sea salt, peppercorn, medley, dill, and garlic. It's going to add a nice little robust flavor to it. There's some other recipes too, but this is the one that I'm going to do this time for you guys. Now we're going to lay this out on a sheet pan, nice and even, and we're going to bake this at 425 for about 20-22 minutes. So here you see I'm just going to lay these out, nice and even. This pan's already preheated at 425. I like to always do it that way, so you get a head start, so whenever you go into the oven, you don't have to wait for the pan to heat up, you know, before your veg. And like I said, we're just going in a nice little even layer, as even as possible. These are beautiful diced sweet potatoes, plenty of nutrients. Like I said, guys, beautifully diced sweet potatoes. Like I said, guys, beautifully diced sweet potatoes, and we'll go ahead and just toss these into the oven real quick for about 20 minutes. Alright guys, so check it out. Another delicious recipe I love to do. This is like a staple of mine. Charred Brussels, right? What we're going to do is we're going to shave these, toss them in some avocado oil, and hit it with this right here, taco seasoning mix from Old El Paso. That's right. It's pretty low in sodium, actually, so I don't feel any sort of way about making this. Great flavor. We're going to roast this in there with those sweet potatoes on a different rack, and we're going to call those good. Check out how I prep these up real quick. Save the money and don't buy the bag stuff. Alright, so in my opinion, this is one of the most crucial ingredients or weapons in your arsenal of fitness is Brussels. And what I'm doing, I'm just cutting the butts off real quick and then popping them in half. And then I'll show you what happens after that. Now, as you already know, like, Brussels sprouts are extremely healthy for you. Like, you can't deny that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and chop all these now, right? And I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Now, as I'm chopping, for my knife skills personally and my methods of how I like to do things, I like to just have them all first. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and then we'll go ahead and shave them. And the reason why I do that is, for me, it's more just out of efficiency, you know. So if you're going to take the time to meal prep, you might as well save as much time as possible in that process, right? So what you do to one thing, do to all of things, and then just take your steps. You know what I mean? Alright, so now that you have them all chopped up and halved, right, nice and even, you're just going to place it down like so. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the ears. I'm going to move the bowl out of the way real quick. So you just go ahead and put your fingers like so, right? And we're just going to come in here and rock it, right? And there we go. Shaved Brussels right there. And obviously you get going a little bit faster. Right? What you do to one is do to all. And that's the consistency that we're looking for. Just like right here. Okay? Nice little charred bits. Nice and thin. Okay? Pretty consistent. That way you get nice and even cooking. Okay? So you can grab a couple at a time. It doesn't matter what side you start on. I'm just going to go ahead and chop a bunch of these up right now while y'all are watching. Now, they don't have to be all perfectly uniform. Personally, I like to do that. You know, make sure you keep your fingertips out the way. I don't have the best knife skills in the world, but what I do have is a great method of getting these done. Now, alternatively, if you don't care about really how they look, you can always throw these in a food processor. But then again, that's going to be pretty much like a crazy chop, right? So occasionally I just come back through here. You know, smaller ones you can just throw the halves in, that's fine, right? But I don't like to do that. So we're just going to go ahead and chop these up real quick. Just wanted to go ahead and get y'all another angle, right? Like I said, these are really simple to do and completely worth it. Huge, huge health benefits with Brussels, right? Just make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. Otherwise, there's not, like, there could be potentially like one less benefit. So make sure you practice your knife skills. If you're not really good with knife skills, honestly, you're going to save so much more money in this meal prep world than going out there and buying prepackaged stuff and frozen stuff. And guys, I'm telling you, like, there's some non-negotiables in the world, and knife skills is part of your personal development, especially if you're going to do this fitness journey, and keep nutrition in the forefront of your mind, right? So I'm just making a nice good old pile of this. It doesn't really matter. And here in a second, I'm about to toss these with that the Old El Paso taco seasoning, which is going to be really delicious. Guys, you can always come back in here and just chop them up if you want. I like them shaved though. So make sure you got a good sharp knife. Most dangerous thing in the kitchen is a dull knife, in my opinion. Right? Just keep your fingers away. Now, a lot of these leaves, these extra leaves are going to fall off, like you see here. And then I just like to bunch them up, kind of. In the kitchen, we call that what, like a chiffonade. Like you just kind of roll it and then chop it. And I'm doing like a variation of that right now. So, and these are really cool because they're actually going to crisp up in the oven. So add like a little bit of crunch. It'll add like a little bit of crunch to your dish. Now, that one little pack of Brussels, as you can see, let me move this closer. Here we go. Nice little pack of Brussels, right? Like I said, way easy. Hit it with some avocado oil, just like that. Not a bunch, not a little. Just, you know, I'll see what I did there. Give it a quick toss. I like to toss it first, so that way your leaves aren't going to be sticking. And plus it'll give something the seasoning to hold on to whenever you put it in, right? Dirty hands, whatever. Now keep in mind, we still got those sweet potatoes in there, right? You have the sweet potatoes in there, so they're finishing up. And now we're just gonna come in here with the taco seasoning. I kind of eyeball it, guys. Kind of eyeball it, right? You see how much I have left, right? That's about, trying to give you an idea. That's about half of a pack. And you see how much is on there? So out of all those calories, I ripped the top off. 15 calories. Yeah. Or not even. I'm just looking at the sodium, 300 milligrams. I'd say maybe we added about 150 milligrams. I want to call that about half. But like I said, I'm going to come in here. That's going to have all your salt content that you'll possibly need. You see the color that they're getting because you're incorporating it all into those Brussels, those shaved Brussels. Right? That oil is going to help bind itself to the leaves. And of course, whenever the heat hits it on the oil, it kind of fries it in the oven. Like, crisp up the leaves. Really nice. And so, bam. Here we go. I'm going to toss this in there for the next... Oh, see? That's why it's important. Now's your chance. Missed one. Not today, guy. Yep, there we go. So, like I said, we're going to toss these in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. Like, whenever those sweet potatoes finish, they're going to be good to go. Alright guys, so here we have it. Here's our cubed sweet potatoes. You can see that they get pretty small, right? Because a lot of that water weight evaporates. And then over here, we have our charred Brussels. Look at that color on there. That is beautiful. You're going to add that nice crisp to it. All those nutrients are still there. You didn't cook them out. They didn't go anywhere. So, yeah. Matter of fact, we're going to mix these two together, actually, for one dish. So, that way in every serving, you have the charred Brussels and your carbs right here. Alright, so next on our list, we have this deluxe stir fry that we got the other day. And I'm going to toss this in the strainer that's already on the stove. So if you check it out with me, right, here we are. It's a double boiler, that same pot that we did the rice with. I haven't washed it yet. So what I'm going to do is take these stir fry veg. I already split the bag before getting back on camera, kind of, but alright, bear with me. Turning me into a filthy liar. Thought I split it. It's still kind of frozen, so stand by. So we're just going to take this stir fry veg, right? Put it right in here, right into the strainer. And what that's going to do, yeah, I dropped some, whatever. I got clean stove. So what you're going to do, you're just going to make sure you're in here. Like some of it's still frozen, which is fine. You can bust it up, right? So forth. That's the glory of using frozen veg. But anyway, so there we have it. We got it on the double boiler. I got on. All we're going to do is steam it. So I'm going to throw the lid on here. The same lid that goes for this pot has like a little hole, so I can actually steam this in that same water. For example, like if I just wanted to steam it up as soon as they were done and throw the rice in, but the rice is already done, I'm going to combine that into a different bowl. But one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this is because if we're going to have the stir fry, we obviously got to do like a little stir fry dish, okay? Because like next up on the order, now that we're going to have all of our veg and our carbs finished and complete to portion out, now we get to go on to the proteins. Here we go, lid goes on, and like I said, now we're steaming. Alright, so I pulled all the rice off the stove earlier to make room for the steamer and whatnot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these up in this bowl, and I'm just going to mix the brown and white together, right? And then toss in a little bit of avocado oil to keep it from sticking, and then I can season it up however I want, or just leave it plain and just sauce it later whenever I portion everything out. Alright, so here we are. We got the brown rice and the white rice put together. I'm just going to come in here with a little bit of, my bad, soy sauce. Jazz it up a little bit, because really that adobo didn't stick too well. So this is going to add like a nice little way of adding some flavor. Some soy sauce, a little bit of olive oil, or avocado. I keep on saying olive oil today. And then I'm going to hit a little bit more adobo. Not a bunch because of the salt content in that, but after you're done, you're just going to come through here, give it a quick stir, and this rice is all prepped up for the entire week. Now you see how much we have here. This is a big bowl, guys. This is a big bowl. Alright. There's no reason to be unprepared now. We are ready to go to war. That's delicious. The starch is just right. Only took 20 minutes. And there you go. Final product. Rice is done. Nice and flavorful. Mild. Not overly salty. Just right. Alright, I know I didn't make a video on this one. I got really hungry last night because I messed up. I forgot to prep other meals for myself, not just prep meals for my viewers. So anyways, I had to whip something up real quick, and then whenever I make something, I'm going to make a lot. So if y'all remember that 72% or 73% ground beef that I got, all I did was brown the heck out of it and drain it. You know, drain all the fat out of it. Add some edamame and corn and some diced tomatoes, and that's all this was. And so the edamame, I used 2 bags to that big pack of the ground beef that we had. And you can see 1, 2, these are really hefty portions. So I like to eat these for dinner or for lunch, like if I want to have a heavy lunch or whatnot. I just threw them in the freezer after eating one last night. It made 5 servings, which honestly, this is what it looks like frozen. Doesn't look too bad, but completely delicious. So anyways, give that a shot. I'll make another tutorial or recipe video on that one at a different time. But yeah, like I said, it was a really quick process, and I just froze it after it was done, after I portioned out one already. This gave me 3 ladles, 4 ounces worth. So it's a 12-ounce meal, okay? And the edamame has a lot of protein. Of course, the beef has a lot of protein. And I threw in the extra carbs. You know, edamame has a lot of carbs also. So I threw in a little bit of extra carbs with the corn and nice little antioxidant properties from the tomatoes. But yeah, there we go. That's how this one's looking. And I'm just going to take this and pop it in the microwave for a couple minutes so I can eat while I continue to make some more content. You see, I'm still over here with the rice. I was just like, dang, starting to get a little bit hangry. So yeah, here we go. I just want to share that with you real quick. And now, mind you, this veg is pretty much already done. Woo. You see what I mean? No seasonings on there. It's plain. Now if I pick one up, yeah, actually, matter of fact, this is done. It's hot as hell. Woo. But so these are done. So I'm gonna put the lid back on. I don't want to cook all the nutrients out of it. Look at that. That's beautiful. Literally in that little small amount of time. You saw me finish up the rice. I got to show off a little bit of that the beef with the edamame. Typically I like to make that with lamb, but yeah. So anyways, come over here. All right, now is my favorite time. I'm going to power this down, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start focusing on our proteins, because remember, we got veg, starch, we're ready to rock. All we got to do is the proteins now, and we are completely done for the entire week, aside from portioning them out. All right guys, so before we start the protein, can't forget these 2 little things right here. Really low in calories, right? Great little veg option. Alright guys, so here we have these 2 veg right here. Both of them take 5 minutes in the microwave. We're going to do that while we do the proteins. Alright, so again, right here we have cauliflower, sweet potato. Alright, so our first order of business for the proteins is going to be, so here's our pulled pork chops. You know, I just got them on a rack here. I'm going to throw them in that oven. And of course, these 2 things right here are ready to rock too. So that's going to give us a lot more options. And remember, got the sweet potatoes and all of our carbs right here. So as soon as we get this done, I'm going to hit up this ground beef real quick. We're going to do like a little soy sauce stir fry to go with those stir fry veg. That's going to give us 4 meals. And then, yeah, we're just about set, guys. Then after that, I'm going to hit up the turkey. And for the turkey, I'm going to make a turkey and edamame, kind of a little mashup with some black beans. So that's going to be really good too. Really dense in protein, low in carbs. And what carbs are there are just really high in fiber. It's in here, 430 degrees on the top shelf. Alright guys, for our last 2 proteins, we're going to knock out this 3 pounds of ground turkey and 1 pound of beef, 4 pounds. That'll give us 16 more meals. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're going to match it up with this here. And of course, we still got our stir-fry veg. Like I say, we're going to do a play on that with the beef, right? So like a beef stir-fry. And yeah, I think this will be really phenomenal. One more quick tip, just like you've probably seen in my other videos. If not, you know, I'll leave a description on the bottom for one of my first meal prep recipes. I intended on doing everything all at once, but I figure if you watch my grocery shopping video and you still needed to get your week started, you know, I should have, like, I felt to me personally, I felt like I needed to go ahead and upload something to get y'all on your way. That way, if you wanted to pick back up on this series here in the middle of the week, you know, that's totally fine. But from here on out, I'm going to do all the meal prep videos all at once, right? So it's going to be one big video, so it's going to take some time. I'll probably be filming it a day and ahead, so I can dedicate a whole day to actually doing that for you guys. But if you have any sort of burning desires, like if you want me to focus on one type of protein, if you want me to do keto, Atkins, whatever it is, if you have questions on cooking a certain type of protein, maybe you're losing a lot of moisture in something, you need some help, maybe you have a nice occasion coming up, holy crap, maybe that's something. Maybe you guys want me to do a healthy Christmas meal prep, So that way you can still have your holiday food and not destroy your gains in the process. You know, I think that might be a good one. Like I said, if something's in your mind, or if something sounds good, or something that you want me to talk about or show you a technique, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. You know, let me know what kind of video that you want next, and don't forget to hit that like button. So here we go. I got the burners cranked up to 5 on each side, and these are non-sticks, so I'm just going to let them heat up on their own. I don't really need to add any additional oil, which is good. So yeah, we're just going to let it rip. Alright, so now that I have that flipped, what I'm going to do is get this pot ready. Remember, it's the same one that we used earlier for steaming those stir-fried veg. And so I'm going to be combining everything into this pot as soon as this is all browned up. I'm going to take our grass-fed beef. Bam, drop it in our pack. I'm going to come over here with like a little bit of salt. Not like a little bit of salt, but about a teaspoon of salt. Sprinkle over. Granulated garlic. Teaspoon of that. Teaspoon of black pepper. Good times. And then, for good measure, you already know what time it is. Right? We're going to put about a teaspoon of that in here too. Or 2. 2 teaspoons. Smile. For the gains! Alright, we're not in kindergarten. Obviously, you can put on gloves, use a fork, spoon, whatever the case may be. I'm going to be using a fork right now, simply because I don't feel like getting my hands all jacked up. Right? I might rub my eyes later, and now I have sriracha in here. So, I've made that mistake before in my life, and so now we're just going to mix all this together. Here we go. Now we got all this mixed up with the wonderful world of pause and record again. So cut a lot of time out of here. Bam. Looks really delicious. Look really good. It's got a lot of aroma going through it right now. So I'm really happy with the way it smells. Alright, so now our turkey is nice and brown on both sides. Getting nice and hot. Remember guys, if you're using non-stick, what you're going to want to do, use a rubber spatula. Not one of these bad boys. One of these. Alright, this turkey is pretty much already brown. Has maybe another 2 or 3 minutes left. And these pork chops down there are smelling phenomenal right now. Just had to let you know. And now, just keep in mind, whenever you are cooking this ground turkey, you do want to cook it all the way. Just because you're going to be reheating it later, it's going to be cold. You're reheating it from cold, so it's not going to necessarily cook all the way through if you take it out medium rare, medium or something. Remember, this is poultry, guys. Beef, you can kind of get away with it as long as you're getting into the 135 range. So yeah, just remember to be food safe whenever you're doing this. You want to cook all your poultry all the way through, okay? Let's maintain our safety. We got enough freaking stuff going around outside, so you don't need food poisoning. That's the least of our worries right now, right? Alright guys, so I just wanted to take a second while I'm browning this up, I'm finishing this turkey up, about protein absorption. Now, just kind of like protein in like a protein shake, you're gonna have like your casein protein, which is always real thick, right? You got your isolate or your concentrate, and the concentrates are going to be a little bit less thick than the casein. Your isolate is a little bit thinner, and then your hydrosylate's even more thin. So with that being said, your ground meat products can actually do the same thing, right? So you can break this down even more with, like, say, like with a potato masher or something like that. You can really pulverize this to give you a little bit faster protein absorption after you work out and whatnot. Those are some of those little hacks that we've learned throughout the years. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know that. All you like old school bodybuilders out there probably can, you know, nod your head a little bit to that one. So that's just like a little hack. Me personally, I like it about this consistency. I like them little chunks in there to chew on, whatnot. Otherwise, it really, I mean, it is turkey, not a lot of fat in it. So if you grind it up too much, like, you have a chance of it tasting like sawdust, really, honestly. So I would say leave it around this consistency here, and like the other pan is pretty much the same way, right? And now all I'm going to do, I'm glad I got you guys here live right now. Well, you're not really live, you're watching. Like, it's live to me anyway, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pot that we had. Here, I'll slide it over real quick. Hopefully you can see in here. And then bam, straight in. Now look at this pan, and you can tell there's barely any oil in there, right? So that's nice. One more time with this other one. Here we go. Now, of course, this pan's hot now, right? That's excellent. I'm going to move this over here and show you what I want to do. But in the meantime, I'm going to give my edamame a little start. So now that I have that pan right there already hot, and I have this, and I have the other one over here with our meat in it, still staying nice and warm. I turned the oven down to, not the oven, but the stove, I turned that down to low, right? I don't want to start burning that meat because it's already done, right? So what I'm going to do is take some, that edamame, right? Frozen, absolutely. Absolutely frozen. That's okay. I work a lot with frozen veg because it stays fresher longer, and I kind of like that. Now this is going to be not really turkey chili. It's not like that. This is the same thing I did with the beef last night, okay? So I'm just trying to give y'all a little warm and fuzzy what I did with that extra beef that I had. Not extra, but it was that big pack of the 73%. Now I'm going to get a lot more out of this simply because it's a lot less fat. But before I even start getting a lot of heat into these, like, I don't want to toast them really. Like, that's not necessarily my goal. So I'm going to take my soy sauce. It's original. It's not low sodium. I don't really watch my sodium too much, but at the same time I do. Like, I know to keep it low, and so that's what I do. Now, keep in mind, anything that you put in here is going to go into the turkey, which means it's going to, you know, all the flavors are going to carry over. So if I add enough soy to this, you remember I only added a teaspoon of salt to the turkey, to 3 pounds of turkey. So really, all in all, our sodium content isn't really that high. Alright, now I have a really good sizzle on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, put it in here, and I'm just going to add that all back. Just like so. And after I add it back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it through, let the residual heat of the ground turkey, right, that we already have, start cooking the edamame more evenly distributed. So that'll give the edamame time to catch up temperature wise. And all we're going to do, like, this is pretty much done, right? We're going to introduce a little bit more moisture back to this though. Alright, so we got the turkey, the edamame. I already drained these, but right here we just have some good old-fashioned black beans. We're going to get those in there. I already drained and rinsed those to get the aquafaba off, but in hindsight, I should have kept the aquafaba to do some gluten-free and some vegan option baking and whatnot. We'll get to that some other time. That adds like a nice whole another type of flavor right here. This is pretty much good to go, right? It adds nice little flavor. Got the edamame, and so what I'm going to do now Y'all know me already. I'm gonna add that little bit of acidity. Right? Got the mojo. So here we go. Maybe about like a quarter cup, just like so. And what that's going to do is really introduce moisture back to this dish so it doesn't dry out on you, and also it'll help simmer these edamame down. And the edamame is going to soak all that mojo flavor up along with the turkey. And yeah, this dish right here, 3-ingredient dish minus a little bit of the liquids and whatnot, and this one's ready to go. It has your veg, your carb, your protein all in one shot, and you can really portion this out and stretch this out. You see how much this whole thing just made. So this is going to be a lot of meals by itself. Alright, now that we have that turkey already set, I'm going to put the lid on. This one right here is going to be our last one for the beef, and then we can plate up, right guys? So keep in mind that burner's still on, it's still getting warm. What I'm doing now, same lid from the stir fry, is going on this pot over here so it can simmer. Right, remember I've got that burner on low. Now this one here is going to be ready to rock for the beef. Add a little bit of avocado oil, just like so. Make sure the pan's nice and coated. Right, that's what it's all about. Create that little barrier between the protein and the hot surface. That's exactly what that oil is for. Right, and just spread it around a little bit. Now as far as beef, whenever I'm going to sear something, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but like that little bit of smoke came up. There we go. That tells you it's smoking hot. And with beef, especially low-fat beef like this, what I like to do is get my pan smoking hot before I come over here. Remember, we already mixed it up. It's got a nice lot of flavor to it. And then instantly, our pan gets hot, and we're going to get a nice brown on that beef. Remember, clean as you go, guys. Right now, while I'm letting that brown, I'm over here next to the sink. I'm knocking out my dishes. Now this beef is getting nice and brown. Let me come in here. Now I can use my metal spatula. Like I said, I have this screaming hot. It's exactly where I like it. And I'm just going to start breaking it up in here. Usually I like to flip it and brown it up. But like I said, there's not a lot of binder in this. And so it's not going to take long to cook. Well, not a lot of fat either. You can see the pan's pretty much dry. The only fat that's in here is what I added with the avocado oil. So we're going to go ahead and finish this up. Alright, so as you can see, get a nice amount of color on here. Really flavorful. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to add a little bit more moisture back to it. And yeah, this will be pretty much done. A little bit of pink left. This is only taking maybe 3 minutes. Okay guys, so just keep that in mind because there's not a lot of fat. This really cooks pretty fast, so keep your eye on it. I didn't move far from here. Alright, so now I'm sure like this was really trivial for a lot of you guys on browning beef. I'm sure you guys already know how to do that, but I just wanted to touch on it just in case somebody needed that little pointer. Like my stovetop is on low right now, just letting it simmer. You can see it right now. It's just been a matter of a couple minutes. It's already pretty much done. Right now I'm just coming back, hitting it with a little bit extra garlic powder, some Worcestershire sauce. That's barely a teaspoon. Y'all seen that. I'm giving it a little stir, right? Swirl, swirl, right? I'm going to stir it up a little bit, just like so. And this is ready to go. Now we can portion this out all the way. Now that fat that's in there, again, like I've told y'all before, this fat is good fat. It's got all that DHEA, all of your extra aminos in there. Stuff that you don't normally get from grain-fed beef. Like there's a lot of information literature out there for that. So if anything else, I highly suggest, getting into Google, you know what I mean? At the end of the night or whatever, whenever you're doing your personal development, you need to read something, I would definitely suggest this. But I'm going to still snip it real quick. Oh yeah. You always got to taste everything as you're making it. But yeah, this beef is good to go. And it's going to be perfect for that stir fry. Alright, so I just pulled the beef off that burner, slid this one over here, And as you can see, this is ready to rock. I'm gonna try a piece of the edamame real quick and make sure it's nice and tender. Nope, needs a couple more minutes. Like, just a couple more. A little bit too much bite to it for me. So I like it a little bit softer. Now, this will, whenever you're heating it up, this will absolutely soften up in the microwave. So keep that in mind. Alright, so this edamame is finishing up. I'm putting the lid on it. Now I'm gonna get ready to plate up, guys. So this is the fun part. Let me clear off the space and we're gonna get to going. Alright, guys. There you have it, y'all. How about those mojo pork chops? Nice, delicious seasoning on there. Heck yeah. And of course we had it on a rack, so all that fat just dripped down. Everything's nice and charred on there. But then again, if you touch it, nice and bouncy. So this will be perfect. Alright guys, we have a lot of food and a lot of plates. Remember what we're doing here, guys. So we got the veg, right here, we got our starches and a lot of meat. So without further ado, let's get to plating up, guys. Now just keep in mind, the previous 4 meals I made before from that other video, I had another one today. 1, 2, 3, I have 3 left of those. These are honestly able to be split up for 2 meals each, because this is really nutrient dense. But yeah, but anyways, so yeah, here we go. Without further ado, we're going to get to plating up. Alright, so first order of business here, we're going to start with the pork. We're going to do 1 pork chop per meal. And there we have it. 6 pork chop meals. Each of them weigh about 4 ounces apiece. Next up, we're going to hit up our edamame and turkey. Remember that this is a really nutrient dense meal also. So we're going to do 1, 2. I'm going to show y'all a variation of this too. Bear with me. 3, 4, 5, 6. For the pork chops, I'm going to come over here, try to get to where you can see. I'm going to do some charred Brussels, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tons of flavor in there, tons. And of course we can't forget our starch for the pork also. Do me a favor, don't judge me for the spoon, but like I said, we're doing half a cup portions. Bam. 1, 2, 3. That's roughly 50 grams of white rice. 4, 5, 6. Believe it or not, I'm going to add a little bit extra carbs to the edamame dish also. I got a lot of rice, guys, and it really is a staple. 3. We're about to switch it up though. 4, 5, You see how easy this is? We already have 12 meals ready to go, already prepped. Now we get to come in here, throw the lids on. Come back and snap them on. Flavorful, nutrient packed, keep you on the right track. It's just too easy, guys. Gals too. This right here is kind of a unisex. This isn't tailored for male or female. Okay, this is straight across the board. This gives you roughly around between 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal, with about the same macros for carbs. Okay, that's how I do it. I keep the protein and carbs even. Okay, so bomb, and roughly just about 3 ounces of veg, and give or take. All right, so now I'm going to swap these out, and we're going to knock out some more of our meals. Okay. And this is just like how I like to organize it. That keeps me rocking. Remember these 3 back here, 1, 2, 3. There's already food in those. So I find it easier for me at this point, especially if I'm going to do a meal with this stuff. I mixed that the cauliflower risotto and then the sweet potato. I just mixed all that all into one. It just looked really good. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to add a couple of them because remember that's veg. Just like that. It's got the asparagus in there. Can't argue with that. All right. Like so. Alright, so now what I'm doing with that is I'm going to take these remaining 3 pork chops, because remember that pack had 9 of them. Okay, I already weighed it out, and so what I'm doing is I'm doing a little bit more pork over here. Okay, this will be like one of those post-workout meals, right, where you don't need a bunch all at once. I also like to call these like my catch-all meals, you know what I mean? So like if you're meal prepping, you have more of one ingredient, not enough of the other, you know what I mean? That's kind of what happens in this game. So there you go. Try to give you all a better look. So we got the pork. I have one more here with the cauliflower. Like I said, we just round it off. I'll throw some of this in here. Stuff's good. Can't get enough of that. Alright, and of course more sweet potatoes. So just about a handful, which for me is about half a cup also. So right in here. That just scales out to about a half a cup for me. So remember all that beta carotene that's in there. You can't go wrong with sweet potatoes, right? And so that's about 50 grams also. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these sweet potatoes, all right, put them right in here, right into this rice. And so now we have a mixture of white rice, brown rice, and the sweet potatoes. Let me get this cup out of here real quick. That we can mix up. Nice little mixture. Not too much, because I still have a lot of rice. And now you have 3 different types of starch right here, right? All rolled into one, and that's going to break up that flavor profile also for you. And that's going to last us 1, 2, 3, 4 for 5 more containers. Look at that. And here we go. Got the white brown rice and sweet potato Come back through. Nice little collection. Guys, we're about to have more starch left over for next week. All this meal prep, and I already ate 5 of the meals, and just off that $75 plus a little bit of edamame that I already had, like, we've already gone this entire meal prep. So that just goes to show you it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't cost you a lot. See, I still have more of these left over. I feel like that would be really good over here, just on the side, right? Just for these two, right? Nothing wrong with some variation. Have, like, you know, nothing says that you have to have the same thing every day. You know what I mean? That's why I have 4 meals of one, 4 meals of the other, 2 meals of some, right? It's just all on how you cook it and how efficient you are while you cook. So this wouldn't have taken me any longer just to do 2 different meals. Instead, I just decided to utilize my time, utilize the tools that I have, and cook a lot more all at once. Alrighty, so now I got that all plated up. Got more rice down the line here. So now here I can go. That's done. That's done. That's done. Gotta put that around. That's done. Now we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meals to go. And guys, we're not even talking about the overnight oats, because that counts as a meal too. And then we're not even talking about the protein shake or 2 protein shakes a day, which count as more meals. See guys, this whole metabolism, fat burning thing, it's possible. You can do it, I can do it. There you go. Remember, grass-fed beef. This is going to be pretty good, I think. So all I'm doing is I have the entire thing here, just like in my other video. Alright, so here we have it. This is all of our meal prep. Right now what we have is plenty of meals to get us through the entire week. From now on, I'm going to be uploading this on Sundays so y'all can go grocery shopping, meal prep, and everything else. And y'all can just kind of follow along. New recipes every single week. Can't go wrong with that. Macro friendly. I hope y'all have enjoyed. Right now, if y'all get a chance, go ahead and count that. Meals for days, guys. That's how gains happen. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. This is the first of many, many weeks of meal prep with fresh recipes I'm going to put out every single week. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That way I know that you need more content, you want more content, and also drop down in the comments below. Let me know the next type of things that you'd like me to cook, be it any sort of diet or whatnot, or any knife skills, cooking techniques, and maybe even next week I'll bust out the sous vide machine and we're going to go a little bit fine dining with some nice sous vide steaks, some chicken and whatnot. I can't spoil all the surprises yet, I still have to write it out, but yeah. So like I say, hit that like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and go ahead and leave some love in the comments. Catch you next time.